PECS is not neurodiversity affirming.
But what kind of dream? Yay, that's so great. But do you want it in a bottle or a cup?
PECS stands for Picture Exchange Communication System. It is a type of AAC based on reinforcement and compliance. Nothing about that is neurodiverse friendly, but let me make it clear. People who are using PECS with their children or with their clients are most likely not trying to be non-neurodiversity affirming. It's just that they don't know that it is not. But that's why I'm here, so please let me teach you. PECS is based on the studies from B.F. Skinner, a behavioral researcher and psychologist from the 50s, who found that through operant conditioning, you can guide a non-speaking person into verbal communication based on compliance and reinforcement. So notice how I said he was a behavior researcher, right? Not a language researcher. So the first red flag is that PECS is based on withholding desired items, taking away something that non-speaking person would like until they use verbal communication or use the picture exchange system to request it. Anyone who is neurodiversity affirming knows that this is an extremely anxiety-inducing process and not something that we recommend anymore in 2024. PECS states that you withhold the item even if the client is feeling frustrated or anxious. How terrible is that? No neurodiversity affirming therapist would ever recommend such a thing. The second thing is that hand-over-hand prompting is used a lot when training somebody how to use the picture exchange communication system, and if you need to know more about that, please watch my video on hand-over-hand prompting. Spoiler, we don't do that. And number 3, restricted communicative functions. PECS is based on requesting. Obviously, requesting is an essential part of our life, but it's not the only reason we use communication. I mean, even right now, I'm using communication to teach and share. I use communication to comment and say, I don't like certain things. I use communication to direct the actions of others, like when I tell my cat to sit. He would never listen to that, but you know what I mean. And most importantly, you use communication to play. A lot of our non-speaking friends love to use sounds and vocalizations to play and entertain themselves. We often quote things or say things that sound fun to us, and that is valid communication that should be emphasized, encouraged, but it's not through PECS. PECS is communication that is based only on requesting until about phase 4 or 5, when other questions like, what do you see? What do you hear? Are introduced. I don't speak that way. I don't speak in a way that says, oh, I see my phone. I hear the birds outside. No, I speak freely because communication is so deeply personal and it should be encouraged to be that way. PECS does not encourage multimodal communication. That means that a communicator can use vocalizations to communicate. They can use physical gestures or body movements to communicate, because let's be honest, we understand when a non-speaking person is pointing to something or leads you to something that they are requesting or wanting. They don't need to use verbal communication to get that message across, and to force them to rifle through huge books when you understand what they're trying to communicate is not neurodiverse friendly. It causes anxiety and it's not true communication. Again, I don't think anybody is intentionally trying to hurt people when they're using PECS, but I just don't think they really know. So if you have any questions about how to be neurodiversity affirming, please reach out to me at Support the Spectrum on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram.